What's up, Skate Athletics fam? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to provide you with a 20-minute follow-along foam rolling routine along with a brand new 15-minute stretch routine. These exercises can be done at any time. Feel free to try this routine before you go skate. Just make sure you re-warm up at the park, after you skate, or even on an off day. And by the end of this routine, you should be feeling really good and quite loose. If you like these exercises, please go ahead and show your support by either liking the video or commenting down below. And of course, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing for more skate-related fitness content. All right, let's get to it, fam. I hope you enjoy. First thing we're gonna do is roll out the plantar fascia and the muscles of the sole of your foot. Take your lacrosse ball, place a good deal of weight on it, and slowly roll it around the arch of your foot. Some areas might be pretty tender, and some might feel pretty good. All we're really trying to do is stretch out those little muscles on the bottom of your feet. There's no real correct way to do this one, so feel free to stand like me or have a seat. The goal of this exercise is to stretch and loosen the plantar fascia and those little muscles at the bottom of your feet after a long skate session. If certain areas feel really good, feel free to pause the video, keep the ball in that one place, and just hold it for a long time. Like I said, there's no real correct way to do this. Alright, we're going to go ahead and switch sides. Same idea as last time. Just roll it around the arch of your foot. If you find a place that feels good, you can keep it there. Now we're going to move on to your calves. In this section, we're going to focus on two areas, your Achilles/soleus, then we'll move up to the gastrocnemius. Place your Achilles on the foam roller just like so. Create a good deal of pressure on the muscle and slowly roll up the length until you basically reach the top of the soleus, which is roughly halfway up. You can kind of tell where the top of the soleus is because it'll transition into the fattier gastrocnemius muscle. We're going to stay on this portion for about 45 seconds, so feel free to keep rolling up and down. Move your foot from side to side, or just find a place that feels good and just chill. Don't forget to get those inside/outside edges of the muscle too. Now we're going to move up to the gastroc, aka the upper calf. Here we're going to do basically the same. Place a good deal of weight on the foam roller and roll up and down or side to side to loosen up those calves. You can do both legs at the same time. However, I like to do one at a time, crossing my leg over to add more pressure to really get deeper into those calves. If you feel like one leg is just too painful, don't worry about using both. Just stick with us the whole time and just keep rolling. Next, we're going to add one more step to our calves, and this is by far one of my favorite things to do. It feels so good. Place your lacrosse ball directly behind your knee, which is basically the very top end portion of your calf. There's a lot going on back here. A lot of the muscles do cross over this joint. You have your plantaris muscle, your gastroc, both heads connect through the knee. So this area ends up getting really tight. And one good way to loosen it is just by placing the lacrosse ball in there, putting some weight on your leg, and just trying to relax. Slowly roll around this area, just looking for places that feel good or are a little tender, and really just try to focus on your breath and try to relax. We're going to take a deep breath in, trying to inhale for about 4 seconds, and then we're going to exhale slowly out our mouth, trying to exhale for about 6 seconds. We've discussed in a previous video, those long exhales are really going to relax your body, trying to kick in that parasympathetic nervous system to hopefully just loosen up this area behind our knee. And if you want, you can even roll the ball up and down your calves. Use your hands to just roll the foam roller as the ball will just travel up and down your leg. It can be a little painful, but it feels good. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other leg. Start with the soleus/Achilles. Moving your legs side to side, up and down. You can even do some ankle circles. Now we're going to move up to our gastrocnemius. Now let's place that lacrosse ball directly behind our knee. Focus on your breath and try to relax. Okay, the next muscle we're going to roll out is your anterior tibialis. This muscle is often overused and understretched. Place the meaty part of your shin on the foam roller and slowly move across the length of the muscle. Just like the others, move slow and look for tender spots, and if you feel one that feels pretty good or pretty tender, stay put. Work your way all the way up the muscle towards the knee, and you can basically go all the way down just above your ankle. Just like the calves, as you're moving up and down, you can move side to side, just trying to get deeper into that muscle. And if you're feeling brave, feel free to try your lacrosse ball. Alright, let's go ahead and switch sides. Same idea, slowly moving up and down. Now we're moving on to our quads. Just like the calves, we're going to divide this area into two sections, the lower quads and your upper quads. Start with the foam roller just above your knee and slowly work your way up to the midline. Once you're here, slowly roll back down towards your knee, really just focusing on those exhales. While you're moving along your quads, you can shift your weight side to side, you can do some swimmer kicks, you can do scissor kicks to really get deeper into that muscle once again. Like always, if you find a tender spot or a spot that feels great, just feel free to hang out there and breathe. Now let's move up to the upper portion of our quad. Same rules apply. Feel free to shift your weight, kick your legs, or just chill on a spot that feels good. While we're in this section, just start in the middle, meatiest part of your quad and work your way up basically all the way to the hip. The next spot is your hip flexors, and to find this area, we're going to point out where your pocket is. Shift your hips to one side and place where your pocket would be on the foam roller. If you want to extend one arm and lay down, placing all your weight on the foam roller, try it. If this is too intense, feel free to come up onto that elbow or even your hand. Once again, the whole idea of foam rolling is trying to add weight to the foam roller, but not so much to where you can't even breathe. When rolling my hip flexor out, I like to shift my weight side to side as I'm moving up and down, just like my quads. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. Now we're going to move on to our piriformis, which is located at the top outer portion of your glute. Lean back and place your hands on the ground. Shift your weight to one side, then cross that same side leg over your other leg, placing your ankle right above your knee. Once you've crossed that leg over, slowly look for a point that feels like a sharp stinging sensation. If you feel that, you know you found it. We're going to stay right here and just try to breathe. Once you're here, really focus on those exhales to dull that pain. Inhale in for about 3 to 4 seconds. And then try to exhale out for about 4 to 6. Now that we've taken a couple breaths and hopefully this area is relaxed a little bit, you can move around a little bit looking for some more tender spots. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. Same idea, we're gonna start with some deep breaths. Now we're going to transition to our back. First, we're going to start with our rhomboid / T-spine. One thing to note, we're only going to roll out our mid to upper back. You can roll out your lower back, but just for the safety of this video, we're not going to put any stress into that lower spine. Start by laying on the foam roller and lift your hips up slightly off the ground. Keep your core braced and slowly roll up and down that mid to upper portion. Try to exhale slowly without losing all of your core tension. This is going to prevent your lower back from extending and taking all the stretch away from your T-spine. Feel free to throw your hands overhead, which is going to stretch out your T-spine even more and put more pressure on those rhomboids. Now we're going to transition to that last muscle, which is your lats, and beware, these are often quite tender. Shift your weight to one side and then extend your hand over your head. Start with the roller in the middle of your lat, then slowly shift your weight from side to side. After you've rocked a couple times, move the foam roller towards your shoulder. Find a tender spot and slowly shift from side to side again. Repeat this until you've done it on about 3 to 4 spots all along your lat. After we've done that, let's roll the length of your lat a couple times. Caution, this is going to hurt. Move slowly and breathe deep. Alright, let's go ahead and switch sides, and we're going to start rocking side to side. Go ahead and try to find about 3 to 4 spots. Now let's move slowly up and down the length of the muscle. Now we'll start the flexibility section, and we'll begin with a soleus stretch. This is where having a textbook or a stair will come in handy. Hang your heel just off the edge of the stair or book, then track your knee over your toes and place some weight on that knee. Now you'll begin to feel the stretch around that Achilles tendon / soleus muscle area. We're going to hold here for about 30 seconds and just focus on your breath, and remember, it's all about long exhales. Now we're going to move on to a dynamic soleus stretch, and we're going to do 5 5-second holds. This time, try to get really deep into that stretch, holding for 5 seconds, and just quickly relax in between. Alright, go ahead and shake that ankle out and move the book over, and we'll begin with a 30-second static hold on our left side. Let's start our 5 dynamic 5-second holds. Alright, now let's move on to your gastrocnemius, aka your upper calves. Keep your heel hanging off the Booker's stair, but this time straighten your leg. If you want, put your hands on a wall or lean against something. This will help you get a little deeper into the stretch. If you have tight calves, you'll most likely already be able to feel it. We're going to hold this position for about 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Next, we're going to move on to a stretch for our ankles and our tibialis muscles. This one can get pretty intense, so if it's too much, please try the regress version in the top corner of the screen. Start by sitting just on your knees and ankles, and if this already feels like a stretch, you can stay right here. If you don't feel much, feel free to lean back to your elbows, or even try to lay all the way down. Once again, if it hurts, please don't push it too much. Just find a pose where you feel a gentle stretch and feels pretty good. And once again, just breathe. Now we're going to move on to one of my favorites, the frog stretch. Start in a tabletop position, then widen your knees and sit your hips back. Make sure to keep your spine neutral and your shoulders retracted to really feel this into your hips. If you want to progress this stretch, feel free to drop to your elbows or even into a child's pose position. And if this feels a little too intense, just bring your knees a little closer and it should lighten up a bit. Since this is one of my favorites, we're going to hold this for about a minute. Now we're going to move on to the pigeon stretch. Starting from a push-up position, bring your right shin up and place it perpendicular to your mat. If this hurts your knee, you can place it at a 45-degree angle and even drop your hip to the ground. Extend your left leg back all the way and try to square your hips off to the ground. Sit up tall, retract your shoulders, and place a great deal of weight on that front leg, and you should start to feel a stretch into your hip and your right glute muscle. If you want to advance this position, you can place more weight onto your front leg by dropping to your elbows or even lay over the knee. If this is a little too much, like I said, you can drop that right hip to the ground, keep trying to lay over that front knee, placing a lot of weight on that leg. And if that even hurts, you can try the figure 4 stretch, which I'll place a quick clip on the screen. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Now we're going to transition to a stretch for your thoracic and lumbar spine. Go ahead and lay flat on the floor and throw your arms out to the side. Bring your right leg up to about a 90-degree angle and then let it fall over your body. Use your left hand to pull that right knee down closer to the ground as you extend your right arm out to the other side, and really try to touch your right shoulder to the ground so you really feel that thoracic stretch. Straighten that left leg as much as possible, and as always, focus on your breath. Alright, we're going to go ahead and switch sides. Just shift your hips, make sure your shoulders stay flat on the floor again. Take your left knee up, let it fall across your body, and then reach your left arm out. Next, we're going to transition to what's called dynamic YTWLs. During the duration of this, I want you to sit up super tall, keep your chest puffed out, and really retract your shoulders. We're going to start with a Y, so bring your hands up into a Y, pulling your thumbs back and really pinch your shoulders. Next, we're going to go to T. So pulling your hands to a T motion, once again, thumbs back, pinch those shoulders, really stretch out the chest. Now to a W, so bring your hands up into a Y, then drop your elbows down and back as you pinch your shoulders and really pull those thumbs and elbows backward. And lastly, L, tuck your elbows into your sides with your palms facing up and externally rotate through the shoulder as if someone's pulling your thumbs from behind you. We're going to roll through this routine 3 times, so just stick with me. For our last two stretches, we're going to do the kneeling couch stretch followed by a psoas stretch. Stay kneeling on your left knee and bring your right leg up just like so. Use your left hand to reach back and grab your left foot and bring it closer to your butt. Really squeeze that butt cheek and push your hips forward, and you'll begin to feel a stretch from your quad all the way through your hip. Try to keep your hips facing perfectly forward, throw your shoulders back, keeping good posture. If this hurts your kneecap, feel free to grab a pillow or something soft. And as always, focus on your breath. Alright, now you can drop that left leg, and we're going to stay in the same position, but now I want you to reach that left hand up, arcing it over your body. Go ahead and look up at your hand and try to follow it overhead. When you do that, you should feel a nice stretch in your lower abdominal area, which is known as your psoas. Make sure to keep that glute squeezed and your hips pressed forward as you reach overhead. Alright, let's go ahead and switch sides, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the right side, starting with that kneeling couch stretch. Alright, you can drop that right leg, and we're going to progress to our psoas stretch. And you can relax. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're feeling good.